Listen, I know you're not subscribed to this channel to watch me manipulate phallic objects, but come on. Come on. How are you not gonna do a little bit of this? How are you not gonna do a little bit of this? Okay, I'll stop. Roll the intro.
But God might be on vacation, and the promised land they ain't never promised. My baby telling me to be patient, but the devil always working overnight, my darling.
Good morning, everyone. Gadget here with an exclusive. Can we call it an exclusive? It's an exclusive, all right? They just announced it. Fujifilm has announced, well, not just this, but a ton of new stuff. New cameras, new lenses, new initiatives, all that kind of stuff. But I want to talk about the 70-300mm OIS F4.0 to 5.6 lens. That's a lot. So let's break it down right now. This lens right here is a compact telephoto zoom lens for the Fujifilm X mount, something they've needed for a very long time. And this one right here gives you the approximate reach of 107, let me try that again. This one gives you the approximate focal length of 107 millimeters to 457 millimeters. That's a lot of reach in something that's about the size of a tall boy. Like, I mean, you're looking at it just an enlarged can of Coke right here. Now, if you are mounting this along with a teleconverter, one of the ones that Fuji offers, you can get up to a maximum reach of over 900 millimeters in terms of your focal length. That's a lot of reach. Obviously, when you pair it with a teleconverter, you're gonna lose some stops of light. But again, for those people that are traveling, that are outdoors often, that are often shooting at f8 or f11 for the type of work that they're capturing, that's something that they're okay with. While the lens itself is not officially a red badge lens from Fujifilm, in my time testing it out, it proved to be quite impressive. The build quality feels really, really nice. It feels solid in the hand. It also has up to 5.5 stops of image stabilization built into the lens. And with modern Fujifilm cameras like the X-T4, it actually works in conjunction with the camera. And I believe this one will even give you up to 6 stops of stabilization with those cameras. On top of that, the lens itself also has weather and dust resistance. So you can be using this in really cold environments, really dusty environments, and not have to worry about your lens failing on you. Now, I only had a few days to play with this lens, and there's still a lot of testing to be done before I produce a full-on review, but shout out to the team at Moment for allowing me to go hands-on with this product. So if you're looking at getting this product, please do consider shopping with Moment. They have some fantastic products for creators, and more than that, they've really been supporting the creator community. So again, check it out. They'll have this lens available for you. I gotta say, when I was using this lens, I quickly realized that this is not a product that targets someone like me and the type of photography that I create. But when I was using it, I was starting to fall in love. Maybe lust, right? I mean, the reach that you get is phenomenal. Even for some of the product shots I was doing, I was testing out this lens, and it was just impressive to see how much focal range you have to play with, especially in well-lit environments. Whether it was for photo or video, I was getting some phenomenal results. And the pairing of the optical image stabilization here along with the camera allowed for some usable shots. Now keep in mind, when you're at an extended focal range and you're trying to capture video or even a photo, even micro jitters will look like really large movements in your end result. So it's really tricky to manage. But that being said, it was impressive to see how much control was kept with this lens. You're not gonna be able to do, black magic with it, but it is quite impressive. It'll take some time and a lot of testing to find out how good the mechanics are, but I didn't notice any kind of zoom creep. Whether I was, halfway down, a third of the way down, it never seemed to creep or shift out of place, which was really cool because sometimes you'll get these cheaper telephoto zoom lenses and they don't really stay at the focal length. So it's great to see that this one is built pretty solid. That being said, we'll test it out for many, many weeks to come and see if that holds up. There is also a zoom lock feature if you want to keep it locked at that 70 focal range. I think this is largely for transport, largely for any kind of video that you might be doing when it's at that 70mm focal length. Anyway, that zoom lock, it quickly disengages when you want to extend it, if you need to extend it. But if you keep it locked, it's pretty solid, but with just enough effort, you're gonna unlock that thing. You also have the switch to go between the aperture ring or allow it to be controlled by your camera if you want to use your front or rear dial to control the aperture. You also have a focus lock switch where, well, it's not focus lock. You can switch between the full focusing range or 5 meters to infinity. So if you're someone that's a birder, landscapes, travel, whatever it may be, and you're shooting things that are never gonna be closer than 5 meters, well, you can go ahead and switch that so the focusing mechanism can work a lot better. Mind you, on new Fujifilm cameras, you can do this within the software as well. You can set a custom range. So you can even go in and say, okay, anything that's 10 meters to infinity, just focus on that because that bird isn't coming anywhere close to me. Unless you're lucky. Anyway, let's get back to this. Now, how are the images that you get from this lens? With the lockdown rules currently in place in Ontario, it was challenging to go and get the type of footage I'd normally get, but I had enough time to capture some pieces of material, and overall I was very impressed. Now, I will take some time to dive into these files and give you sort of a more robust explanation of to what I think about the images themselves, but just looking at them and scanning them pretty quickly, there isn't any real glaring issues. Yes, the minimum focusing distance might be a bit challenging, but with a lens like this, you're generally not looking for a super tight minimum focusing, at least not without an adapter. The images themselves had pretty good control of chromatic aberration, but again, a lens that starts at f4.0 will generally cater to that. So I'm gonna save a lot of my judgments in terms of image quality for the full review, but there wasn't anything that really stuck out or felt like this was hampered or hindered in a certain way. You like that alliteration? I love alliteration. Anyway, when I was using this, what really stuck to me more was the quality throughout the range, that there wasn't any really bad vignetting, at least not in the early results, or any weird diffraction or halation across the extremes of this lens. And while this lens isn't meant for video, I really am impressed in terms of what you can do with this lens for video. Again, if you're in a well-lit environment, being able to have an equivalent focal length that starts at a little over 100 and then goes north of 400, well, that can make for some interesting coverage shots. So definitely not the A cam, but the B or C cam, putting this lens on that, I can see myself getting some interesting footage that otherwise might be challenging to get. And there you have it. That is my first impressions of the Fujifilm 70-300 f4.0 to 5.6 WR OIS lens. It is mad impressive. I am excited to test this out, and I'm very excited to publish the full-on review in the coming weeks. So if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. And again, like, this is really cool. They should get more credit for this one. And shout out to Moment. Thank you for letting me play with this thing. I like it. Okay, bye.